welcome to another, because none of you watch it past the first 10 seconds. So I don't even know why I'm saying this. But anyway.
Hey.
We are Simpletons. This is the Simpleton Review Network, and you are listening to the Simpleton Review weekly podcast review. I don't know what you want to call it. Depends on whether or not you listen to the audio format or on the YouTube channel. And I'm hoping you are listening on the YouTube channel. And if you are, hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. Okay, we're just a couple of old farts and a young Gen Zer. That's all we are. But we're good. We're funny.
Looking.
I think we are. Okay.
Looking.
We learned everything, so it's fine, right? Yeah. So on this edition of Simpleton Review, we're going to talk a little bit about a rapper. Dude, I guess you'd call him a rapper. Would you call him a rapper, Charlie?
Hip-hop artist.
Hip-hop artist by the name of Aesop Rock. And so we're gonna. So let me just give you a look. I'm gonna read this straight from the Wikipedia page. Aesop Rock is Ian Matthias Bavitz, and he is best known by his stage name of Aesop Rock. He's an American hip-hop recording artist and producer, lives in Charlie's hometown, Portland, Oregon. He was the forefront of the new wave. You can tell he wrote this as well. It's kind of funny. He was the forefront of the new wave of underground and alternative hip-hop acts that emerged during the late 90s and early 2000s. So he's been around for quite a while. Released his first album called Music for Earthworms in 1997. So he's been around for quite the time. So we're going to talk a little bit about his brand new album entitled Spirit World Field Guide and see what we think. Charlie was, of course, this is a Charlie album. If you guys haven't figured that out yet, you can usually tell when Charlie has picked an album for review because it's always something that
you've never heard of.
That's usually the case. That's usually the case
on that album, though.
Huh?
What's that?
Which one?
That art on the Spirit World album.
Oh, the Spirit World album.
Right now.
Oh,
that is cool.
It's like a skull about ready to laser fire at Bambi. You think that's cool?
Yes, I think that's cool.
All right. Well, Charlie, since this is your album that you've picked, we'll start with you. What did you think of Aesop Rock's new album, Spirit World Field?
Aesop Rock has got some good tracks on here. I love his rhythms. I love his rhyme schemes. I like that he uses a lot of metaphor that really chimes in with just average folks. It's not anything that's super heady, but it's also not anything that's like beneath somebody. It's not like lowbrow at all. It actually keeps pace with a lot of attitude, but it's not hung up on like chasing women, chasing drugs. It's not the typical like stuff that you hear. It's not flash rap or anything like that. It's not anything that's like announcing like super stardom or anything. It's not like a lot of like self push when you listen to a lot of his stuff. So I dig it. I dig his sounds a lot. This one is I didn't quite catch the whole spiritual theme. You know, there's a lot of things that are going on. He kind of stuck to his usual guns, and I wonder if he was trying to bring everything down to an average personality. You know, whatever he's talking about, he's going to try and reach for an average personality with a little bit more thought. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
Interesting.
But I really dig it. You know, it's like even the gates, like the opening, like not the opening track, but the second track on there. You know, he's like talking like a gamer or like somebody who watches a lot of fiction is like, everything's a trap. You know, here I am at the gates, but everything I'm walking into is a trap. And that's an interesting way to open an album.
Yeah, it's true. Good. Okay. Lemuel, what about you, my friend?
I thought it was all right. Like I liked the beats a lot, to be honest. The beats were pretty solid for me, but
Look at the camera.
The beats were pretty solid.
There he is!
I had a hard time keeping up with a lot of the lyrics, and his voice was pretty the same throughout a lot of the tracks. So for me, it was a little hard to pay attention the whole time to what he was saying.
Okay. Yeah, I listened to this album, or let me rephrase that. I attempted to listen to this album about 4 times all the way through. Like I got through all the tracks. There is 21 tracks on this album,
which is you don't see with this guy usually.
That's a double album for most people right there. That is not usually, an album is going to consist about 10 to 12 tracks is your average for a regular size album. This has, and they're all 3.5, 4 minute long songs. It's not like they're like 1 to 2 minute songs like on a punk rock album or something. You know, it is regular size songs. Look, I dug the music. I thought I really felt like you could tell he was influenced by the Beastie Boys or somebody like that. I mean, just that heavy influence of that really kind of technical, ethereal, keyboard-ish kind of sound, you know, that the Beastie Boys in their later years kind of used. You could tell that he's been influenced by that kind of rap music. So like you said, it's not your typical gangster rap. It's not your typical rap that deals with, you know, slap them hoes and whatever else, right? Yeah. It's very metaphysical. It's very, you know, dealing on some sort of like weird, you know, I mean, the name of the title album pretty much sums it up, right? But I'll tell you, every time I listen to it, I got to about probably the 11th or 12th track, and I'm just like, I can't listen to any more of this. I've got to take a break. Because it all starts to sound the same after a while. And his cadence on his rapping does really start to just be very the same. It's monotone on every single track. And it's like, dude, you gotta, and I think part of it is maybe not that his cadence doesn't change, is that the beat doesn't change. Like almost every single one of the songs is the exact same beat per minute. You know, the BPMs don't change on this album almost at all. I like it. I like his song structure. I like the choruses, you know, and I do like his lyrics. But like I said, some of the sounds were pretty freaking cool. I think my favorite songs on the album, you hit this part right around track 7 through 9. That area, Crystal Sword, Boot Soup, and Coveralls. And I think those were my favorite tracks overall on everything I heard, because I just felt like they were different. I felt like, man, I was actually paying attention to what he was saying instead of like, dear God, is this going to stop anytime soon?
Right. Well, and he used to work with a guy calling himself Blockhead. He lived in Aesop Rock. I think he came from New York originally. Okay. And that's where he teamed up with Blockhead. Blockhead's a trip hop guy, does all the sounds without the rap. You can tell the influence is still there, whether or not he's involved with the productions. And then he started the last like EP he did was with the guy from Black Moth Super Rainbow. What's the new one? It's Tobacco. Tobacco is the name of his newest venture, but they teamed up. So he catches up with several like digital stars. Well, okay. I don't know if I'd call them stars. They're kind of underground groups, and a lot of people haven't heard them, but you'll catch a lot of the influences when you listen to a little bit more of his albums.
Yeah. So I mean, I know I'm being rough on him. Again, it's not one of those albums that I'm just like, dude, I'm gonna throw it in the garbage because I hate it. It's just not one I'll probably listen to.
I think, like, for me, I had like probably 6 tracks that I'm going to go back to a lot. Probably in my
mix. Like I'll drop them as singles, you know, into my playlist, but I'm not going to listen to the whole album. not at one sitting.
I think he's only had like maybe 1 or 2 albums I've listened to all the way through and really liked.
Yeah.
And like None Shall Pass came out in like early 2000s.
Okay.
That one's the capstone, but not very many that you're gonna go and like chime through.
Right. Well, I'm gonna drop my score for this first, and I'm gonna give this score I'm gonna give it a 2 overall. I think there's some positive elements, but I just felt like maybe there was something that could have been done a little differently, maybe a little bit different production value or something like that could have helped solve the problem. I don't know. Maybe just different speeds on each one of the songs. I don't know. There's something that could have happened. So, Lemia, what about you? Why don't you throw us your score for Aesop?
I think I'll throw it a 2.5. I liked, when I was paying attention to what he was saying, I liked what he was saying, and he had this one cool lyric, "Don't let me die on a normal hill," which I like that line a lot. And the beats, I like the beats quite a bit.
In fact, he said, some of them drop really heavy.
Yeah.
So
okay, whatever that means.
Yeah.
It's a Gen C thing.
Yeah, I know.
Stick with Limbs, and I'm going to give it a 2.5. Again, this is somebody I really like his work. This one, for like a percentage of what I've liked versus what I didn't, it deserves about a 2.5 for a complete album.
Great. So I guess we're kind of in agreement. It's down there low. So we would say that this album is not Simpleton Certified, unfortunately.
Not Simpleton Certified.
Yeah. Okay.
Come on. We know you got one in you.
We haven't used that phrase before, so let's tell you guys a little bit about what Simpleton Certified means. If a movie or an album gets a score from all 3 of us, at least 3.5 or higher, it is considered Simpleton Certified. So it has to be above average to get that Simpleton Certified rating. And unfortunately, Aesop Rock does not make the cut this time around. Better luck next time, Mr. What was your last name again? Mr. Bavitz. I apologize if I say that name wrong.
We butcher names all the times because we are simpletons.
That's right. We're very simple.
Unfortunately,
we're not known for our
I love you.
That's why we're called simple
people. We should
people,
have like a stamp.
Okay. We're gonna move into right there in the forehead. I think that was a sign of the beast. I don't know. So we're going to move into our pop culture news. And, well, heck, I'm going to go first, too. Alrighty. So, in pop culture news, there's a movie that's going to maybe start filming sometime in the very near future. It's part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I think it's going to be canon, I don't know. It's interesting. But the name of the movie is called Spider-Man 3. And in Spider-Man 3, it looks like it's going to be live action, and it's probably going to be based around the idea of a multiverse, kind of like the cartoon version that came out that everybody was really grooving on. Right now, the confirmed actors for the movie are Andrew Garfield, who played Spider-Man in an earlier version of Spider-Man. They called that version the Amazing Spider-Man. Jamie Foxx, who played Electro, I believe, in the Amazing Spider-Man. I could be wrong, but I think that's right. Kirsten Dunst is actually going to be in this movie. People know that she played Mary Jane in the Sam Raimi version of Spider-Man. So she was Tobey Maguire's love interest. Benedict Cumberbatch is going to have his role as Doctor Strange. So he'll be playing Doctor Strange in this new Spider-Man movie. Alfred Molina, who played Doc Ock in the Sam Raimi version of Spider-Man, is slated to come back playing his role as Doc Ock. The people that have not been confirmed that are rumored to be joining the cast are Willem Dafoe. You guys don't know who Willem Dafoe is. He is the guy who played the Goblin in the very first Sam Raimi Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire is rumored to come back. I would assume that if they've got Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield, they really need to get Tobey Maguire back because he's pretty much the other Spider-Man, right? He was the Sam Raimi Spider-Man. Also, Tom Hardy, who played Venom, he's rumored to be coming back. Charlie Cox, who plays Daredevil in the Netflix version of Daredevil, is slated to possibly be coming back. And Mysterio, which I'm assuming is like the CGI version of Mysterio, who was in the second Spider-Man that just came out that was directed by... who directed these Spider-Mans? Was it Favreau?
I couldn't tell you.
Anyway, so yeah, and then not only Mysterio, but I do believe they're also thinking about bringing back the Sandman, I think, as a CGI person as well. So this sounds like a crazy movie. I don't know what they're going to do with it. If it is a multiverse movie, I can understand why they're going to have all the characters, but I don't know how they're going to work all of them. That almost seems overwhelming, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Could be interesting.
Well, it depends on how they piece it together, because if they stick to more of a comic style, or they have a lot of breaks, and there's just going to be a lot of like non-flowing parts.
Yeah,
is what I'm going to guess. Right.
And I've never seen The Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield, so I don't know how well he did on that. I like the Sam Raimi version of Spider-Man. I liked Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. I didn't mind it. The third one, everybody's like, nah, I didn't mind the third one. But that's because I kind of like Topher Grace. I think he's a good actor, and I like him playing Venom. I think Tobey Maguire does a great job. So I know there's been a lot of Tobey Maguire hate over the years, but I didn't think he was that bad. Now, the humor in the newer Spider-Mans with Tom Holland, it can't be beat. They're just fantastic movies. We watched Far From Home the other night, and that was a freaking amazing movie. Loved it to death. So good.
Those are so good.
So, all right. Well, there is the pop culture news that I've got. Lemuel, why don't we go with you?
Okay, mine is a little bit about business. This company called AT&T, the phone company, people, they're selling a company called Crunchyroll, which is an anime streaming service.
They own Crunchyroll?
I guess so. I didn't know that till I read this article. But they're selling Crunchyroll to Sony for $1.2 billion. An anime streaming
service is worth $1.2 billion.
According to Sony and AT&T.
Wow, that's incredible.
But I mean, anime has grown pretty popular in America over the years, and it's a lot more acceptable to be into anime. So there's that too.
I know somebody who has a subscription to Crunchyroll.
Who?
Don't doubt that you do.
Braden
actually does.
Yeah, I was going to say Braden, right?
Yeah, Braden. Yeah. He has a subscription. It's only like $4 or $5 a month, and he watches anime, so I guess it's worth it. I have never understood anime. I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't mean that it's bad. I just don't get it. It's I don't understand it. So
I like it.
I know you do. All right, Charlie, what about you? What's your bit of news you've got for us?
So my bit of news, I specifically saved it for this podcast because Aesop Rock has played in Boise a few times.
Okay.
There's a lot of struggle going on for places that have a lot of live shows. The stages aren't staying open. The announcement is that Bill S4258, the Save Our Stages Act, had passed.
Oh.
So there is going to be allocations and grant money given to all these different places that are opening 4 stages, offering for different like means to help prevent the spread of coronavirus, as well as to cover like rent loss and different other payroll costs, different things like that. It just passed like recently in the last like 2 weeks.
Is this a national bill? Like,
this is a national bill.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and it's involving, it's like $12 million to go up for grant money for all these stages and venues. So,
well, I think that's really cool. I'm not sure $12 million is a lot of money.
No, again, it's a supplemental, and I'm not sure if that's per region or whatnot, because I didn't get to read the whole bill or anything.
Yeah.
But I know it's something that's been pushed for in this area a lot. So,
well, when you look at it and you consider it and you think about it, you can have like the sports industry or the movie industry, and but if you look at actual numbers of people that rely on, their livelihood is based in music somewhere, whatever it may be. There is no other industry, entertainment, in the entertainment industry that has more people. Millions and millions of people are involved in the music industry, whether it be the musicians themselves or, venue owners or recording industry, or all kinds of stuff can be involved in, merchandise creators, all that kind of stuff. If you just think about how it affects everything and just, balloons and balloons and balloons. So I'm glad that the government sees that there is a need for that kind of thing. I wish they would have given maybe a little bit more allocation to that kind of a deal. But, at least they're trying to do something, and hopefully it'll save some of these small venues from having to close. I know Boise has been blessed with a lot of stages that have been there, clubs, and whether it's the Neurolux or some of these others, but, Idaho Falls, on the other hand, doesn't have any, but that's neither here nor there. But if we were able to keep those kind of things open, I mean, it's going to be, I know it hasn't existed for very long, but if the Tree Fort Festival is not able to go this year, it's going to be another devastating time for downtown Boise.
Yeah.
It relies on that festival to bring in thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars every year. So I'm hoping these things can start to happen again, and we'll be able to have festivals and concerts and the small time touring bands that rely on going to a club and playing every night will be able to do that. Man, I'll tell you, what a weird, crazy, tough time. There's no easy answers to any of this stuff. It's frustrating. So, well, on that positive and sad piece of news, we'll end our broadcast. Thank you, Charlie, for bringing that news to us. That is actually, though, exciting that the government, like I said, was able to recognize that we needed to get that stuff. So we will sign off. Again, we reviewed Aesop Rock's new album this week. I gave it a 2.5. What'd you give it there, Lem?
2.5.
And Charlie?
2.5.
2.5 all the way around. Unfortunately, it is not Simpleton Certified, but go check out the album anyways. You might like it more than we did. How's that sound? All right. Well, I am Nate Simpleton.
And I'm Charlie Simpleton.
I'm Lemuel Simpleton.
Fantastic. As you got to tell, Lemuel Simpleton is here visiting his father for the holidays. So that's why we have this kind of interesting setup going. So like and subscribe. Tell your friends about the Simpleton Review if you like it. I want to see you guys advertising. We've got merch. Go to our website at simpletonreview.com. Buy the t-shirt. Say you've been here. Say you've watched the video. And if somebody asks you or tells you they haven't, ask them why not. Okay? Why not? You guys have a fantastic week. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.